Deadpool 2 is directed by David Leitch, the man who made Atomic Blonde, and stars Ryan Reynolds once again as the Merc with a Mouth, who is dealing with a lot of things this time around. There's this kid who has powers, and Cable, played by Josh Brolin, has come back in time to kill this kid. And Wade is trying to figure out why somebody wants this kid dead, but he can't seem to quite put it together. And so Wade is trying to do everything he can to save him, and he assembles a team to make sure that he can somehow keep the kid alive. And in the meantime, Cable is trying to do everything he can to get to the kid. I was excited for this film, and I am a little late on this review, but I've geared up in my Deadpool outfit, and I'm ready to talk about it. Hold on one second. Whatever. I was excited for this movie. I loved the first Deadpool film. I think it's a really great movie. I gave that movie an A plus, but because it did exactly what it needed to do. It was one of those movies that worked out perfectly. It was really funny. It had a great sense of meta humor, and the character, the way they handled Wade Wilson, was also really good. The one thing that maybe the first one didn't do as much as this one does is it didn't explore much of Wade's internal thoughts and more about Wade Wilson himself. This movie does that. It's a more personal take on Wade Wilson as a character. And that's one of the things I loved about this film, and Ryan Reynolds sold it beautifully. He was born to play this character, and he plays it so well, and I'm really impressed with what he was able to bring to Deadpool's persona this time. In the first movie, you rooted for him, but you knew that he was a flawed character. Something on the inside wasn't quite right. In this movie, he learns a lot more about being a hero and being more of a character that people can look up to, and kind of being there for other characters and being for other friends, and I really liked the trajectory they were able to take that way. I also liked the camaraderie he shared with many characters. It was very effective, and I did, like I said, feel for him when certain things did not go right for him. Also, Cable, played by Josh Brolin, I thought was really good. He did an excellent job, and between this and Thanos, it's going to be a big competition amongst comic book fans as to what's the best portrayal of a comic book character he's done this year. He's excellent as Cable. He has the appropriate amount of screen time, as much as he should have, and when he's on screen, he's really great. It was nice seeing other characters from the first movie, like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead again. It was amazing because they're such great characters, and I think they added a lot to the first movie, and it was nice to see them again in the second movie. The kid also, I thought, was interesting, the way they handled his story and how the kid was important to Cable when things were starting to hit the fan. Another thing I really liked about this movie is the way they handle the X-Force. It's amazingly done. It's very funny. It's also very effective. It kind of shows you exactly where, like the first movie did, it shows you the flaws which were there with comic book counterparts. In this film, once again, they do this very crazy thing where they try to show you the mistakes and the things that don't work so well when it comes to bringing comic to a screen. And I really liked the effect of it. It was really effective. I'm actually trying to keep it as vague as possible, as I am switching between mask, half mask, and no mask at all. We'll see what happens about that at the end of this review. Who knows? The Infinity Gauntlet is here. We should get this out of the way, and so should we get that out of the way too. The humor in the film is also really effective. This is a really funny movie, and the way it handles certain jokes was also hilarious. This film has a bigger budget also going for it, which you can sell. The action sequences are bigger. There's a lot more special effects in this movie. They're much, I guess, better than the first one, but the first one was really cool in the smaller scale. This one has a bigger scale to it, but I like the way they handled it at the end of it. And the soundtrack was also great. Very good choice of songs, especially one song that plays in the beginning and in the middle, and they used it very well. And that was amazing. It was so great actually seeing that happen. To be honest, for the most part of this movie, I didn't think it was as good as the first one. There was a few problems I had with it. I didn't think that it was as funny at points as the first movie, and I thought the plot was a bit similar to Terminator 2. You know, kid in the future, and the causes a problem, and the cyborg comes back in the past and wants to kill the problem from ever happening, and it seemed a little Terminator 2-esque. So that was a little similar in that sense. Also, the way certain characters are brought together, like the kid and Cable and all of them, it felt a little messy at points. It could have been handled a little more streamlined. That said, while the film is coming to an end, all the stuff that happens in the last 10 minutes shot it up. From that point in time until the end, I think the movie actually became a bit better than the first one. I know that's going to be an unpopular opinion because from what I'm hearing so far, either the movie is really close for some people or it's not as good as the first one, and for some people, it's better than the first one. Personally, I think it matches up exactly where it should be. I really like the way the film finally came to a close. Also, this has, in my opinion, the best end credit scene of a film. You must have heard that from every single other person, but it is true. The way they handle that is terrific. In the end, I'm gonna keep this short. I really want you guys to see the film. This was a really, really great movie. Excellent performances. The humor was great. Great soundtrack. The action sequences are fantastic. David Leitch directed it so well. I can't wait for you guys to see it. If you've not seen it yet, this is a terrific time at the movies. I'm gonna give Deadpool 2 a 10 out of 10. Granted, I mentioned there were a couple of issues with it, but in hindsight, watching the film, there are things I can overlook. They're not as big a problem as I thought they were while watching the film, and I think that you can block them out after you're done watching it for yourself. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. If you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.